Now let us study about Public Accounts Committee. But why are we studying about it? See, Public Accounts Committee has completed 100 years of its existence in December 2021. So that is why it becomes an important topic for Prelims 2022 examination. Public Accounts Committee was first set up in the year 1921. Hence we can see that it was set up under the British rule. It was set up under the Government of India Act 1919, which was passed by the British Parliament. And this act was based on Montagu-Chelmsford reforms of 1917. Montagu was the Secretary of State and Chelmsford was the Viceroy at that point of time in Indian history. Now what is Public Accounts Committee? See, as we can deduce it from the term, that it is a committee of the Parliament. And the total strength of this committee is 22, right? Out of the 22 members, 15 will come from Lok Sabha and 7 members will come from Rajya Sabha. So we can say Lok Sabha to Rajya Sabha composition ratio is approximately 2:1 in the committee. But what is the reason behind this? This is because the ratio of total number of members of Lok Sabha, total strength of Lok Sabha is 545 and the total strength of Rajya Sabha is 250. So here the ratio of total members of Lok Sabha to total members of Rajya Sabha is also crudely, roughly or approximately 2:1. Now let us try to find out how members of this committee are chosen. Now for this purpose, an election is conducted in both the houses of Parliament, right? Now 15 members will be elected from Lok Sabha and 7 members from Rajya Sabha. This election is held in accordance with the principle of proportional representation system and single transferable vote. Now it is for you to find out what these terms precisely means. Crudely, we can say the proportion of different members of various parties in the committee will be commensurate to their relative strength in the Parliament. For instance, if BJP has 55% strength in Lok Sabha, so 55% of total 15 members that are belonging to Public Accounts Committee in Lok Sabha will come from BJP party. Now who will be the chairman of this committee? See, the chairman of this committee is elected by the Speaker of Lok Sabha from amongst the members of the PAC. But why is it the prerogative of Lok Sabha Speaker and not the chairman of Rajya Sabha to appoint the chairman of this prestigious committee? See, you have to keep in mind that Lok Sabha is directly elected by the people. So comparatively, more powers are given to it insofar as the scrutiny over government finances or public expenditure is concerned, because ultimately, after all, it is the people's money, right? And we enjoy the notion of popular sovereignty in our vibrant democracy, right? So people are the ultimate masters, people are the ultimate sovereign. So that is why more powers are given to Lok Sabha. Now the chairman of the committee belongs to the opposition, and this is a parliamentary convention which is followed from 1967 onwards. Because in 1967, single party rule of Congress came to an end and various regional parties emerged on national political scene. And it is also quite befitting to and democratic to appoint member of the opposition as the chairman of the committee, so as to scrutinize over the government finances which is ruled by the winning party. Now this is just a parliamentary convention and not a constitutional obligation on part of the speaker. Remember this point. So what are the functions of the Public Accounts Committee? See, it will be keeping a close watch and scrutiny over the government's finances, as ultimately executive, that is the Council of Ministers led by the Prime Minister, is accountable to the Parliament. Therefore, as Parliament consists of people's representatives, so it will be the duty of the legislature to ensure that public money as spent by the government is spent on the purpose for which it was first allocated when the approval for budget was sought, when demand for grants were made by various ministries and government. Now it will see whether the expenditure is frugal, whether it is prudent, whether there is any kind of corruption or wastage involved in it. Now this committee will ensure efficiency, effectiveness and economy in public expenditure. Now whether the funds are spent on the purpose, whether the outcomes are achieved or not, whether minimum amount of funds are spent to achieve a certain objective. Now this committee will not be looking into the policy aspects. They will not be questioning the policy. They will only be looking into the operational aspects, how money is being spent, whether it is wasteful or not. One thing we have to keep in mind is that a minister cannot be a member of the committee, as it would be a conflict of interest, as one cannot be a judge in one's own case, because essentially PAC is scrutinizing the accounts of the government, so the minister cannot be a member of Parliamentary Accounts Committee or the Public Accounts Committee, right? Now let us take a look at the process. How does it all happen? See, it is the job of the CAG, Comptroller and Auditor General of India, to audit the accounts of the government and to bring to light any sort of wastage or corruption. The reports of the CAG is to be tabled before the Parliament annually every single year. It is the constitutional duty, constitutional responsibility of the President, guided by the Council of Ministers, headed by PM, that is the government, to do this, to put this report before the Parliament every single year. Now once this report is tabled in the Parliament, PAC will go through the audit reports of the CAG. Now the committee can call and question CAG at any point of time to be present before it, as CAG is a professional and expert institution, knowing various technicalities involved in the report, various kind of economic data, various kind of economic terms and figures, right? Whereas the PAC consists of parliamentarians, which are laymen, which will not be able to understand the technicalities of the report. So PAC can call a CAG, right, to seek any kind of clarification, to seek any kind of understanding, right? So these are the basic features of Public Accounts Committee. I hope that you will be able to understand this.